The Joker is a DC Comics supervillain, and is pretty much the most famous comic book supervillain there is. His real name has never been revealed, and even he doesn't truly know what it is. His alias is the Joker, and it's what he responds to, though in the Telltale Batman series he is referred to as John Doe, which is the name given in America for when a person's real name is unknown.
I'm sorry, I don't think I ever got your name.
Me?
He's never given his name out to anybody.
Now, there are often many different versions of comic book characters, and this version of the Joker's origin is based off of the movie The Killing Joke and the comic book it was based off of, written by Alan Moore and illustrated by Brian Bolland. The Joker started out as a struggling comedian with a pregnant wife and no money. He was just an ordinary person at this point with no designs on cruelty or crime, but he was living with his wife in a small house, sharing with an old lady who owned the place and whom they rented off of. The two of them were behind on the rent with no money coming in and no way to pay any future rent.
I can't support you. Oh, Jeannie.
Shh, it'll be okay. The baby won't be here for another 3 months. Mrs. Burkus will let us slide on the rent a little longer. She feels sorry for me.
All the Joker wanted was to get a better house and a better life for his family, and he wanted to do this before the baby was born. But unfortunately, when you don't have any money and no job, this is pretty hard to do. And so he did what a lot of people have done over the years: he turned to crime. Before he decided to become a comedian, he was a lab assistant at Ace Chemicals.
Did I ever tell you I started out as a lab assistant? Of course I did, right? A good job, real good job, but my heart wasn't in it.
But he hated this life and left to become a comedian to make people laugh. Unfortunately, no one liked his jokes and he was never able to get a job as a comedian. But two criminals he knew wanted to rob a playing card company, and they decided to break into the company by going through a chemical plant, the same chemical plant the Joker used to be a lab assistant in. They needed him to guide them through the plant and to the point where it joined the playing card company next door. The criminals didn't care about the Joker and were just using him, but he was too desperate to see it and to say no. They provided him with a disguise, a red hood and mask. They told him that this was to protect his identity so he wouldn't get identified.
Right, the most valued member of the crew, he gets to wear it, no questions asked, cause he can't afford to be connected to the job, so he deserves additional anonymity.
Though in truth it seemed more likely that this was a way they could use him as the fall guy and say that he planned the gig and was in charge in the event that things went the wrong way. However, on the day that the job was to go down, two policemen came up to him and informed him that his wife had had an accident with faulty wiring with a baby bottle heater, and his wife had died along with the baby. After hearing this news, he had no interest in following through on the plan to rob the playing card company. After all, he was only doing it to provide a better home for his family, and without them, the money was worthless to him. But his partners told him that backing out was not an option.
I'm sorry about your wife, but what's happening tonight, it's no little thing. And we can't ensure that anybody backing out remains healthy.
Once the three are inside the chemical lab, things started going wrong immediately. A security guard spotted them and a shootout ensued. Turns out, since Joker had left the chemical lab, they'd hired some security guards that he didn't know about, and the gang turned on the Joker to try and save themselves.
I'm not the guy you want, it's him! He's our ringleader, he's the Red Hood!
But as the security guards were shooting at the Joker, Batman turned up and stopped them from firing any more shots, and he tried to take the Red Hood in as peacefully as possible.
No more shooting. I'll take care of this my way.
The Joker gets scared of Batman and walks backwards, tripping over his cape and falling into a chemical vat and flushed out through the drain. He's exposed to various chemicals which react with his Red Hood disguise and burn and alter his hair and skin, turning his hair into his famous green and his skin white. He sees his reflection and all of the day's events hit him and overwhelm him at once. They are too much for his mind to handle and he loses it. He laughs his lungs out and lets go of his sanity, running from the pain of his life into the comfort of madness and forgetting. The Joker doesn't remember most of this. Some days he does remember a version of it, but he remembers the events different from day to day. Remembering his past is just too painful for him to bear. All he knows for sure is that he had one bad day, a horrific day where everything was taken from him, including his sanity.
Sometimes I remember it one way, sometimes another. If I'm going to have a past, I prefer it to be multiple choice.
This is actually where the Joker's whole outlook on life comes from. He believes that one bad day are all it takes to turn a normal person crazy, because that is what happened to him, and he knows that deep down everyone else is the same as him. That's why the Joker is fixated on Batman. He can tell that Batman also had one bad day, but unlike the Joker, who went uber crazy, Batman went uber sane. The Joker chose total chaos, and Batman chose total order.
Why aren't you laughing?
Because I've heard it before. And it wasn't funny the first time.
And the Joker wants to prove that Batman is just like him, which is why the Joker is always trying to push Batman to kill him, because it's the final piece of proof the Joker needs that the two of them are the same, and would prove this to Batman. Batman is also aware of this, and it's part of the reason why he'd never cross the line and become a killer, because then there really would be no difference between the two of them.
Seeing as how I'm feeling generous, I'll give you this one for free. Knock me off, I dare you. End this. Pull the plug. Stop me once and for all. Oh, you're getting too predictable, Bats.
And that is the Joker's origin. One thing that's always annoyed me about this is how it's never been developed any further. Now, part of the Joker's character is of course that no one knows who he really is, and though I know exploring his origin too much could ruin his character, the fanboy inside of me just wants Batman to work out the truth. And if it was done right, it could be a great story to watch unfold. Of course, finding the writer who could do it right is the problem. But what do you think? Do you think that Batman should find out the truth behind the Joker's origin? Or that if the Joker's identity was revealed that it would ruin his character? Be sure to let us know in the comments, along with what you think of the Joker's origin. And as always, thanks for watching, and feel free to subscribe, share, like, and comment.
It's like meeting someone I can actually relate to. Which, believe me, dear, I've never felt before.